In this video today, I'm going to take you on the journey with me of buying a Rolex from eBay. Now, normally people say you should buy the seller. So buy from someone who you trust, who has a reputation to lose, someone who knows their watches. I've done none of that. I'm going to show you the listing in a minute. So now, I'm not a watch snob at all. I'll happily wear a £10 Casio, as well as, if I get this, a Rolex. But what I do like is, I do like trying to get a bargain. So most of these watches down here have been bought from eBay or at a bargain price. So this one was bought new, but it was bought from the Targ outlet in Bicester, so I paid half the retail price. This one was eBay. This is a lovely tuning fork watch from the early 1970s. This one was from eBay. This is a really interesting Seiko Superior. This, in its day, in the 1970s, was accurate to 5 seconds a year. So it's a double quartz movement. Really, really, really interesting. And this is just an automatic Seiko Saab watch. Again, bought from eBay for a bargain off a price. So you don't always get ripped off. But obviously, sometimes you do get ripped off. Here, I bought a watch that claimed to be a skin scuba watch, so a watch that you wear when snorkeling. But yet, when it came through, I realised that it's a Frankenstein watch. So it's still a tuning fork watch, but it has the movement from a Belova calendar, yet it's in the body of a diver. Now, I don't mind too much. I got a bit of money off it, and you know what? I like it. I wear it. It doesn't really bother me that it's a Frankenstein watch because it gives me enjoyment. So you have to be wary when you're buying from eBay, because obviously it's an easy place to get rid of things like fakes and Frankenstein watches. So Frankenstein watch is a watch where two watches have been put together, or using parts from another watch, or maybe even using fake parts in that watch. So let me show you the listing. So here it is, Rolex Submariner Gold, Black, Silver. If I'm honest with you, the bimetal colour isn't really what I like. I'm just buying this purely because it's it's going to be quite entertaining for the video, and also because it's worth 4 times that price there. So I don't really think it would be a watch that I would keep, I don't think, but I might keep it for a while because Rolexes seem to be going up in price, so it could be a prudent investment to keep it for a year or two. But yeah, I mean, for £2,000 it's a watch all day long that would sell. The reason it didn't sell is because it had just been listed, and of course when you see this listing here, things don't sit right. So to begin with, it's got a postage of £1.83. Why is the postage not free, or for example £10 for some kind of Royal Mail special delivery? Photos are, there's only 2 of them. There's that one there and the back there. That back one there doesn't look like it. Looks like a more library picture. I did put these images into Google Images, like reverse image, to see if they've been used elsewhere, to see if they've just been lifted from the internet, and it doesn't look like they have. But that back picture there definitely doesn't look, it looks like a library picture. It doesn't look like a picture taken in somebody's house. But this one here could well be a proper picture. Now, I've been looking at it here. To be honest, looking at it here, it does look kind of correct from what I can see. The gold looks quite a nice colour. There's some nice wear on it there. If you have a look at where it says Rolex around the edge here, so around this edge, it should line up. The X should line up with each of these markers here, and it does. X, 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 and then on this side the R's should line up. R, R, can't see on that one there, but R and R, so they all line up. So that all looks to be good. But look at the listing. So look what's written here. It just says Rolex Submariner Gold, Black, Silver. There's no model number or anything like that. It doesn't say anything about box or papers. It just says passed down by family member, and I'm not a watch guy. As why it's so cheap. Few scrapes on it. So obviously alarm bells are ringing everywhere, and nobody in their right mind would buy this listing. But it was newly listed. There was quite a few people watching it already, but nobody had bought it. And I did. And the reason I did is because if you have a look here, it says authenticity guarantee. Now, eBay are now doing this thing where watches of a certain value, I think it might be £2,000, have to be sent off to an independent company for verification that it is as described and is the real deal. So for example, if this was fake, it would get sent off to the company would say it's fake and send it back to the seller. They wouldn't send it to the buyer. Now obviously if this was coming straight to me, there's no way I would buy this. No way would I buy this, because there's alarm bells screaming everywhere. But because of this authenticity guarantee, as far as I can see, I can't lose, but there is a way I can lose. So let's say if it's a fake, if it's an obvious fake, it's going to get sent to the authenticator and then they're then going to send it back to the seller. I'll get a refund. That's fine. What could happen is the seller might then realize that he's trying to pass off a fake, and then once he realizes he's not sending it to me, that he's got to send it to a separate independent body, they might pull out of the deal. But there is a couple of ways that I could get scammed still. Let's say if this goes off to the authenticator and it is real and it gets sent to me, what happens if it's stolen? Does the independent body check for stolen watches? If I've handled stolen goods, they don't belong to me. I have to give that back to the police to go back to the rightful owner. If it is a super fake, does the independent body take a look at the inside? Do they take the back off, or does the liability say no? Because if they take the back off and damage something, who knows? I'm not sure whether they do take the back off, or do they just look at the watch themselves. Now, you might say it's easy to spot a super fake. No, it's not easy to spot a super fake. In fact, I've got one here which is a few years old that I've borrowed, and I'm telling you, it's very, very good until you take the back off. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, so there is still some ways that I can get scammed on this, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Now let me just show you what this watch should go for. Right now, this is Watchfinder, and this is a reputable company that you get a guarantee. So obviously if you bought something and it's fake, then you can send it back to them. Now with this one here, you can see this is the one from eBay, and look at the price here, 14,000, nearly 10,000, 14,000, 13,000, 14,000. So you can see here 9,500, 14,000, 13,000. You can see that none of them are anywhere near close to being £2,000. The cheapest one here is just under £10,000, so it's 9,500 here for a 1998 one. So obviously there's something definitely wrong with this listing, but I'm intrigued to find out what it is. Now let me show you this super fake, because if I end up getting sent a super fake, then they normally cost around about £400, £500, £600. So to pay £2,000 for one of them would be very upsetting. So here we have a fake from a few years ago. So the ones now are even better, and you can really see that that looks pretty good. It's got 2 clicks per second like the real one. Dimensions are all the same. Basically, the only way you can tell the difference is if it was going to be side by side, or if you were to use an eye loop or a microscope, and when you look closely at, for example, the calendar wheel here, you will see that there's little bits of paint. It's not perfect, the lines are not perfect, while on a real Rolex it will be perfect. So on the outside it all looks good, and I mean, you are getting a lot of watch for your money for a few £100. Look at that. To get over your wetsuit, can you see different clicks into different amounts to adjust the watch? That slide mechanism there is lovely. Really nice little design. Obviously they didn't design it, it was a Rolex design, but everything about it just feels good quality, even though this is a replica. So on the outside you would be hard pushed to tell the difference, you really would be. You can see it sweeping around nicely here, but where you can tell is it's easy to tell when you take the back off it, and I'll show you that now. But on this one here, this one's broken after 3 years or 4 years because the inside of it is not up to standard. It's just junk. But you can buy replacement junk inside bits for about 150 quid. So in theory, the outside of this watch should last forever. I mean, it looks really well made. So you could just keep changing the inside every few years. But the bottom line is, it's still a worthless watch. But even when you go to wind it, it feels kind of crunchy, and look at this, it's not doing the time properly, see? And now it's missing, so then you have to push it in and out again. I've had a look on the inside. Basically there's 2 broken gears, and also the dates here doesn't always work. There you go, can you see it's skipping now? So you've got to go and out again. So it's yeah, it's gone because I presume the metal they're using is not it's not hard enough. So all the money's been spent on how it looks on the outside. But let me show you the inside. But my worry is that unless they take the back off, I could end up getting a watch like this, because lots of people would think that's real, and it's not. Okay, so I've just popped the spring bars out of here. When you look closely in here, the engraving is not correct. So the way it's been engraved looks different than a real Rolex. If you were to look at pictures online, you can see that it is different, but yet it has got the correct model number and stuff like that. Also, the lume on it is nice and bright as well. I'm not sure though, I think on this model number, I think the lume might be blue. I've got to double check that, while on this one, the lume is like a normal green colour, like a, yeah, you know, just a standard lume colour. But I'm not sure on this model whether it's supposed to be blue or not. I have to double check that. But remember what I was saying earlier about the X and stuff like that. So if you look here on this one, if you look up the top here, you can see that the X is in line with that one. And on the next one, the X is in line. But look, when we start to get down here, can you see the X is no longer in line? It's slightly to the left-hand side. Not much, only by about 1 millimetre, but it's not in line. Yeah. Have a look on this one. Yeah, it's well out there now. You can see that's even more. So that's not lined up. This one should be in line with the R. That one is. Let's go all the way up here. Yeah, to be fair, the R's are lined up. But even the engraving on here is not correct. It doesn't look right once you start to really zoom in. It looks different than pictures online. Right, let's take the back off this. I did get this rubber ball. Let's see if this is actually good enough to take the back off. Yes, it is. Wow. Okay, I didn't think that would actually work. Here we go. Now, if you were doing this yourself, you might be all excited because you can see Rolex and you think, well, it must be real. But it's not. They've cloned the movement on the inside as well. But when you start looking closely, it's obvious that it is cloned. So let's zoom in. You can see here, it says Rolex. And you think that looks real. And then you see here, I don't care that I'm using just my fingers because it's a junk movement anyway. You see it says Rolex there, so you think it must be real. But the finish is not good. When you start looking around the place, the finish is not up to Rolex's standard. Things like this. Rolex do have different colour wheels on their movements, but look, can you see here? They've only painted it up to where the teeth move. They haven't actually painted the teeth. They've only gone up to that. I mean, it looks nice, but the Rolex one will be all the way to the very, very end. I'll show you a picture online in a minute. Also, have a look here at the balance. Maybe years ago Rolex listed balances like this, but not in recent times. So to regulate this, you can see the springs attached here, and this is the thing we move this way and this way to regulate the watch to make it go faster and slower. Now this oscillates. This watch here would be 8 times a second. So see the sweeping second hand? It's actually moving 8 times a second. If you were to watch that in slow-mo, you would see it tick 8 times a second, which the real Rolex does as well. Also, crystal, sapphire crystal, so you're not going to scratch that. Yeah. So with this here, if we want to make it go quicker, we need to move this one this way. By moving this way, we've shortened the spring, so the balance is going to move less than before, in which case then it's going to tick quicker because it's going that way and that way even quicker. If we move this towards this way, we're lengthening the spring, we're making it longer, so the balance has more room to travel, in which case then it's going to run slower. Rolex do not regulate their watches like that. Maybe they did 50 years ago or more, but not when this watch, not when this watch is supposed to be about. So let me show you the movement, the 3135 movement, show you what it should look like. Right, this is just a picture online. Can you see when you look at the gear here that it goes right the way to the very edge? The painting goes to the very, very edge. Also, look at that balance. Look how different it looks compared to this one here. Yeah. So once you start looking closer, you can see that it is quite obvious that this one here is not a genuine article. But saying that, are they going to take the back off it or not? Are they just going to look at the outside? And the super fakes now are even better than this one. So unless you're a proper expert, you're not going to know. So that is my worry. But anyway, I'll update as this story goes along and we'll see what outcome it has. So there's been a development. An eBay message has come through. It says, I will post this in the morning, mate. Happy days. Then this message came through shortly afterwards. Need address and postcode and stuff. You'll not be disappointed in this watch. I got my hopes up. It looks like the sale is going to go through. But unfortunately, something's gone wrong. It's come through as a refund. No message from the seller or anything, but I just noticed now you can see the pound symbol there with an arrow next to it. And I got a message from eBay saying, I've been refunded. No details, no nothing. Just the fact I've been refunded. So looks like it's another waste of time. But I'm messaging the seller, and I've messaged him. Hi, I say him, it could be a she. I've messaged them, and I've put, hi, looks like I've been refunded. Are you no longer selling this watch? Thanks. Let's see if they get back to that. I doubt it. They got back to me. I can't believe it. I wasn't expecting anything back. Makes me wonder now if this is all genuine. Right, it says here, it's for sale. Was meant to be up for dearer, but eBay is messing about. They have 12,000 on hold for me. Won't release funds and I need money. 12,000! How many watches have they got rid of? There's all proof of the watch. I just simply want a quick 2K and I'm happy. But I'm not waiting on funds to clear. It's a complete pain in the backside, this eBay. Well, yeah, I agree with you there. It can be a pain in the backside. Right, so, yeah, that's interesting. And suddenly now there's 4 more pictures. And one of them shows the watch in its box with tags on. This wasn't in the original listing, was it? And another message has just dropped in slightly after the last one. It says, I could send today first class with a tracker. If you can transfer the money direct, I will send proof of postage and I will do it for £1,500. It's dropped over £500. I assure you that it will be posted and the box and papers are included. It's my grandfather's old watch and he's no longer with us. Let me know, please, thanks, and sorry for the inconvenience. God bless. Well, a very polite person. But the problem is, you see, if you were to do a bank transfer, there's no comeback, is there? If you buy by PayPal, there's comeback. If you buy by credit card and stuff, there's a bit of comeback. You do a bank transfer, woohoo, there's no comeback whatsoever. So you'd only do a bank transfer if you were around somebody's place and you had the item in your hand. Even then, a lot of people would feel uneasy about it because there is no comeback from the buyer's point of view. So I replied with this. Cheers, but no thanks. I wanted it to go through the eBay authentication to make sure it is legit. You should take it to a Watchfinder if you have one near and you will get 3 or 4 times the price. Good luck with it. To which he replied, thanks mate, I'll have a look at that. Cheers. So it looks like, unfortunately, that is the end of this transaction. It was quite short and sweet, really. Let's sum up. So to sum up what happened there, well, we're never going to know the full story. If I was to take a guess, and it is only a guess, I would say that maybe the seller was trying to pass off a replica watch, and then when they realised that they had to send it away to somebody who knows about these things, that they were just going to waste their time and their money. So yeah, in this instance here, it wasn't to be. There's still definitely bargains to be had on eBay. I think this new system that they're doing is a good thing because it's going to protect buyers and sellers. Buyers, for example, I've been protected here today, and also sellers, because as a seller, if you send something off that's expensive, you don't want the buyer to claim that it's a fake or that the inside's missing or it's got fake parts. eBay is going to hopefully side with the middleman because the middleman is going to be the expert, and then I presume then there will be less chance of getting ripped off from the buyer's point of view and the seller's point of view. So overall, I think it's a good thing. I've enjoyed this little experiment here today. I quite enjoyed the banter back and forth. So yeah, it would have made a more entertaining video if the outcome was different, but this is real life, and that is the outcome of this little journey here of trying to buy a £2,000 Rolex when the real price of that Rolex is nearer 10k. If you got any enjoyment from the video at all, please give it a thumbs up, and I will hopefully see you all very soon. Take care, everyone.